Hi, this is the video for week 3, which I am recording in the beginning of week 4. I realized during week 3 that the peach fuzz that I usually have on my face is actually a little bit longer. I'll try to put in a photo later, but yeah, I'm definitely noticing some hair growth on my face. In other places of my body, I don't really feel like I've really looked that hard yet. I have hair already on my arms and on like the back of my hand, and my legs are kind of sparse, but like when there is hair, it's just like long. I also think that my bicep area is a little stronger. I'm not exactly sure about that though, because it could also be that I'm working more and that's contributing to it. But definitely after I stopped PE in high school, it's like deflated. So I'm also noticing that sweat is a more regular thing that happens now. Like just sweating when usually I wouldn't, in temperatures that like I find comfortable, but my body starts sweating for it. And I guess I have to acknowledge that like sweat is okay. Like that's just like that's how it's gonna be now. But it's good for you because it gets like, I think, doesn't it get like the toxins out of your body? But also I don't drink enough water, which is a problem. I think the fourth thing, other than hair, muscle, and sweat, is growth, and that's the biggest thing I noticed in the beginning of week 3. And if you're uncomfortable with hearing about like nitty gritty stuff about like body parts, probably just like skip this whole last bit. Yeah, so growth is, I think, one of the inevitable parts of going on T. I didn't address this as much in the second video I've ever made, which was about why it took me so long to start transitioning with it, but that was because it was one of the effects that I thought I knew what it was gonna be like, but in reality, because I hadn't seen any photos of it before, I was really unprepared for. My first assumptions before starting T were that it was just like labia growth, just like thicker labias, and just like everything down there would be like slightly enlarged, which I guess in some ways it is, but it was only until the immediate beginning of week 3 that I started feeling like there was something down there that wasn't there before. And I checked it, and everything did feel like different. Like some things were bigger than others, bigger than usual as well. And so it was only after I started T that I looked more into it, because growth isn't one of the effects that's usually portrayed in like the front of the image of what a trans guy is. There's I think the biggest effect portrayed in like the popular media by trans guys is like top surgery. And so I feel like I know enough about top surgery, but because I didn't see anything about growth, I had like misconceptions about it, and I only learned after I started. It's only because I watched videos of trans guys talking about it and linking it to a Tumblr called FTM Sex Talk that I was able to see photos of what growth actually looked like. Yeah, I should have researched into it before, but I think it was because I thought I already knew what it was that I didn't look into it. And I feel kind of conflicted about it, because I know a lot of people who go on T, a lot of trans guys want bottom growth. But as a person who is asexual / like doesn't really care for anything down there, anything in the bottom area. Just to have something there that wasn't, I would prefer to like keep what I had before than to like grow something else. I think a part of that is also being afraid of like how my parents would perceive me differently. Like I said in the Fears of Tea video, it's gonna be a challenge to kind of navigate with having something you didn't have before, as well as being perceived as something you've never been perceived as. Another reason why I'm so conflicted about bottom growth is that I feel like when my bottom growth started, I also started liking things that I haven't really liked for a long time. For me, asexuality just means like sex isn't something that I'm really looking for, as well as I am unsure of what sexual attraction really means, and I'm not sure if I've ever felt it before. But I have come into question about that in the past year. But I still don't know what sexual attraction is like, or like the differences between libido and sex drive and all that kind of stuff. But apparently Ash Hardell has a really good video about it, and about asexuality as well, that I need to rewatch because I've kind of forgotten. In the past year, as well as recently, I've had feelings that I'm not used to and not comfortable with. I think especially since sex and like sexual things are portrayed so strongly in TV shows and movies that it's hard to identify with something like that, that it's been hard for me to readdress my sexuality. Going on tea, with one of the effects being increased sex drive, gets me really kind of scared, because like I've been on this journey to accept my sexuality, going from thinking that I was a lesbian to being bi, then pan, and then ace. It's been a really long journey, and I feel like I've kind of stuck to the ace label in fear of change, as well as wanting to represent a often ignored community, and also being in like staying kind of with a group of people that I felt like secure with. At the same time, it's change is normal, and like it doesn't mean that I wasn't ace before, it just means like I'm different now, which is fine. But yeah, it's just like the fear of change and being something that I'm not used to, which is kind of it. Like I said, week 3, stronger biceps, sweating more, facial hair growth slightly, and a lot of bottom growth. Okay, thanks for watching.